Hey everybody, we're going to try this again. We had some technical issues. So this is Deanna Nichols, doTERRA Blue Diamond, and it's time for our doTERRA oil a day. And I had just been talking about how, my vanity would possibly prevent me from getting on here looking like this, but on the other hand, I was very busy this morning and got a little behind schedule, and I knew that if I didn't do my workout that it would not happen. And I have committed to fitness in 2017, and so anytime that you make any kind of decisions to come up with a new wellness regimen, there will be excuses and obstacles that get in your way, just like anything else worth doing. And so I just decided that it wasn't worth it to be late or skip my video just to look pretty for 5 minutes. So bear with me. This is how I look when I have just been running, and today was a pretty tough running day too. So we're going to talk for a minute about Clary Calm. I apologize, I don't have it with me, but it is a roller. It's about this big. It's a 10 milliliter roller. And it is also called the Women's Monthly Blend. And when I first found out about Clary Calm, a lot of people were talking about using it when you have your period and you're trying to deal with like things like cramps or even like PMS type things, moodiness, water weight, all those types of things that people fight with when they're getting ready to or having their period. And it also talked about on there about, people that are going through menopause and some of those symptoms that happen, like hot flashes and things like that. And so I kind of thought that it was just to use like right before your period and during your period. But then I'm a little bit of a geek, and so I like to research things, and I started researching the ingredients that are in it. And I started to realize that there was some things that are in common with these ingredients that really struck me, and it began to inspire me to want to use it every single day. And so one of the oils that's obviously in there is clary sage, and I mean it's called Clary Calm, so that's kind of a big clue. So clary sage is in there. That is designed, the reason why it's in there is to help with proper balance of a particular hormone called estrogen, and also to help with PMS and menopause symptoms. And I'm going to shock some of you, but we all have estrogen, even men. And in our society, in our culture in the US, we tend to be very estrogen dominant because estrogen is present in much of our foods, like dairies and meats and eggs, because of the way that conventional farming is done in our country. You can also end up with excess estrogen in your body because of a lot of contact with plastic. You can end up with excess estrogen in your body because of different medications you're taking. It can also be from fragrances. I wish I could stress that to the world, because it seems like we are obsessed with everything has to smell like, mandarin oranges or a lavender field, and we're not getting any kind of benefits from it. There's like these baby lotions and baby baths that are supposed to help the baby sleep because it's lavender scented, but a fragrance doesn't do anything unless it's from nature. And I promise these things are not from nature. Not only are they not from nature, but they're actually very disruptive to your hormones. And so we can end up being estrogen dominant. Even little kids can end up being estrogen dominant, and it can really present some challenges for them in their life. Men can become estrogen dominant, and it tends to affect their testosterone levels. Women can become estrogen dominant, and it tends to cause them to hold on to weight in certain areas of their body. It can also affect the production of progesterone, which is very, very important for our health. And so clary sage is an important oil, and you can see why you would want your hormones to be balanced all month long and not just for a few days. Lavender's in there. Lavender is very soothing. And think about the word calm being in this name of the blend. Sometimes we joke around and tell people they need to clary the calm down. But that's true because hormones can be associated with mood. And there's lots of jokes and snickers about that, but it's a real thing. And every human being of any age and any stage in life, if they have a hormone imbalance, they can tend to be kind of moody, and they can kind of go fly off the handle for no reason. They can be have anxious feelings, very sad feelings, just irrational anger, all those types of things. And so lavender is a calming oil, and that's why that's in there, and it really does help with balancing the hormones in the body too. Bergamot. We've talked about bergamot on one of our videos. We know bergamot is super, super calming. It has very powerful effects on the brain. It helps to balance our emotions and relieve tension. And so that is a very important oil to be in this blend. Roman chamomile is in here. Roman chamomile we know is very calming. A lot of times we think of using that to calm babies. And I know that when I'm hormonal, I kind of act like a baby, so that makes perfect sense that Roman chamomile would be in here. It also can help with symptoms that are related to menopause, and so that's why that oil is in there. Cedarwood. Cedarwood is a very soothing, calming oil. It helps with nervous tension, so that makes perfect sense for that to be in there. Ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is also extremely calming and sedating. It helps you to have good love for yourself. And I know that when your hormones tend to be out of balance, like think of during pregnancy, how we really just are hard on ourselves about how our bodies look, and really we're so beautiful during that phase of our life. And we're always focused on, oh, I look fat, I look puffy. And ylang ylang can really help us with those hormone issues that are causing us to have those doubts about how we look. It can also help us having joy and peace. And we know that ylang ylang is a great hormone balancer. I recommend it often for men who are trying to work on having healthy levels of testosterone. So ladies, we need healthy levels of testosterone in our bodies as well. If one hormone is off, it throws all the other ones off. And so we can go play these games where we try to like, oh, I'm low on this hormone, so let me take this hormone. And then it just throws everything else off. And so our bodies are made to be able to balance themselves, and sometimes we eat wrong, we don't exercise, we don't get enough rest, and we put these toxins in our bodies like air fresheners and fabric softeners and scented candles and body washes and things, perfume, laundry soap, and we put these things in our bodies not realizing that it's really having an effect on our hormones. It can cause us to have all kinds of imbalances. Geranium is also in here. Geranium is very well known for hormone balance. It's also can be helpful to support like bone structure, and that has a big part in hormones as well. It also is a very calming oil. You'll notice a lot of these are flower oils. Think about it: lavender, Roman chamomile, ylang ylang, geranium, all flower oils. And isn't that kind of interesting? Think about that. Like we always talk about, like we refer to our cycle sometimes as our flower. It's been probably not so much in 2017, but we've heard it referenced to that over the years. We think of flowers as something that men get to give to women to apologize or whatever. So maybe back in the day when that became a custom, men realized that we needed to calm Clary the Calm down, and they were just buying us flowers basically to get us to stop PMSing. And so maybe it wasn't as romantic of a gesture as we once thought. Fennel is actually in here as well, and fennel is often associated with helping to deal with the issues that come up from menopause, premenopause. It does also have hormone balancing properties. It can also help skin issues that happen as a result of hormone changes and aging. There's carrot seed in here. Carrot seed is not an essential oil per se, but that's an important ingredient, and that's also it's also used to help regulate like a normal cycle, a regular cycle, so you can kind of like know what day of your cycle are you on. That's a really important part of understanding your reproductive system, being able to manage that in a healthy way, so we don't have to use things that are harmful to our bodies. There's palmarosa, which helps to reduce stress and tension, and then Vitex. Vitex is a really, really cool ingredient, and it has been studied for its ability to help the body to manage and produce proper amounts of progesterone. And so when I began to really study these individual ingredients that are in the blend, I realized that I need these every day in my life. And so I recommend even girls who are preteen a daily regimen. So morning and evening, like the lower abdomen, the little navel. Just roll it one time and then just rub it in. You don't need to like color with it like it's a marker. You can just roll it. And what I found for me is just, of course, I was eating a very healthy diet and trying to avoid other hormone disruptors in my environment and my body care products, all those things. But I did notice very shortly after I began using this daily that within just a couple of months my cycles were very much regulated. I felt like my time of the month was shortened. I felt like less severe, and definitely the moodiness also found out just a few months after I began taking Clary Calm daily that I was expecting my son. And after having 15 years of infertility, that came as a huge surprise. I now have a 2.5-year old. And all right, I think I'm back now. Okay, so I needed to change locations. My internet wasn't liking where I was standing, I guess. And so for me, it was really a game changer, and it really helped me. And I really thought I actually taught this for a couple years, is that, if you're dealing with infertility or reproductive health issues, you really need to use Clary Calm because it helps to balance the hormones. And, your body should be able to do that naturally, but Clary Calm can really help, support that balance. But as I began to understand the emotional uses for Clary Calm, it made a lot more sense to me why that oil had such a powerful effect on me. It's called oil of vulnerability, and it has to do with helping you with relationships. People that have difficulty maybe putting up walls and not being vulnerable in relationships because they're afraid they're going to get hurt. It can also help you to accept maternal instincts and nurturing qualities. I know I had a fear for a long time that maybe I wouldn't be a good mom. Maybe I'm not girly enough or feminine enough to be a good mom. Maybe that wouldn't come naturally to me, and it was kind of a fear. A lot of us grew up having a negative connotation with our menstrual cycle. And it's like we were always taught that it was something to dread, your monthly visitors coming, oh no, and I think that when we grow to expect something as being bad and negative and we dread that, then it becomes something that is to dread because our body's like, oh no, there's a lot of anxiety surrounding this time period. And no wonder we're having all of these problems. And so I think in our culture, we've made something that is just supposed to be a natural, normal part of our life that shouldn't be disruptive to our life. We've made it into this big, scary thing that has to be like, we can't talk about it. And we have to go into hiding or something. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. Our femininity is something to be celebrated. It's beautiful. It's a gift from God. It makes us who we are. It makes women unique. It doesn't make us like men. It makes us absolutely different from them, which is beautiful and amazing. And that's what makes the world, colorful, is that there's differences. And sometimes I think as women, we're afraid to embrace our feminine qualities, our femininity. But
every home needs Clary Calm. It's a marriage saver.
This is true. And it's good for husbands too, let me tell you, because the oils that are in here are very calming. They're good for balancing hormones. And we know that guys need to Clary the Calm down sometimes as well. And so that's why they put it in a roller, so that when your husband's walking by, you can just roll it right on him and he won't even be able to stop you. So that's kind of why it was put in a roller. It also helps to kind of release emotional tension around your reproductive organs. And I know that when people are trying to conceive, a lot of times they say, if you just stop worrying about it and focusing on it and just relax, just go to a spa and relax. And it's amazing how when people stop trying to get pregnant, then it comes, because there's just all this tension and you've put so much pressure on your reproductive system that it just wants to freeze up, just like we all do when we feel like we're under pressure. And so it just kind of encourages emotional intimacy. It helps you embrace your feminine qualities. It helps you to balance your emotions. It helps you to be vulnerable in relationships and just let go of fears and walls that you've put up, and not to be so guarded. It also helps you to celebrate your menstruation as a part of your womanhood, your femininity, something that allows you to be a creator. We create life with our reproductive system. It's not something to dread. It's not something to be ashamed of. And it's also not something to be crass about. It's something beautiful and special that is a gift to us, and I think this oil can help you to embrace that. So if you have any questions or comments, I would love for you to share them below, and even if you're not watching live, and I'd love for you to share the video to educate people about this very important topic. If you are in the Knoxville area, I hope that you will join me tonight for an essential oil bingo, and if you would like to know the location, you can go to remind.com/join/Knox Oils to sign up for a text reminder, which will give you the location for that. Also, we will see you Saturday here in Knoxville for a Wellness Prosperity Summit with doTERRA at 9 o'clock at the Marriott downtown. And we'll be back here, Facebook Live, 1 p.m. weekdays. I'll see you tomorrow. Shine on.